You do have resources on Canvas. I put it under modules because I like things to look a little organized, and Canvas allows me to organize better if I go to the modules section. So under modules, you see your quiz keys are here. Your quiz keys are here, the pictures are here, all of that's under a section called quiz keys. All your in-class assignments are here.
So if I want to study for the exam, I can do the quiz and nothing to get keys?
I'll come up with that. You could redo the quizzes. You could ask me for a blank quiz or ask me to post it. I didn't think of that, but you could ask me to post it there so you can practice them again. But you don't want to memorize the problem. So one of the issues I saw, like I said, it was varied, but one weird thing I saw was that, and I tried to mark it down, some of you are memorizing something off a WebAssign. I don't even know what it is. You factored out an n out of the top of that equation and something canceled, but it wasn't the right work, and whoever did that didn't know what they were doing because they couldn't close the deal and give me the answer at the end, even though the first part was clear, like they knew what they were doing. Most of the people who did that knew what they were doing in the first part with the tables and the graphs. So it was some weird thing that you're memorizing. I would advise you, there's nothing wrong with looking at an answer key. Man, I used to buy solutions manuals. You can do that. Just go to Amazon.com now and buy it. Before that time, I had to contact the publisher. But I used to buy them, and I learned from them. I didn't think of it that way. I thought I was trying to sweeten my deal and cut the time involved. But when you look at the answer and you're trying to back calculate how they got that answer, you do learn. So I don't think there's something really wrong with it. Just that if you're looking at it and you don't know why they did something, that's okay. Just text me and say, this is what they have on the answer. I don't know why they did this. What are they doing? Because that thing that people wrote on number 3? The n squared divided by the sequence, whatever you were writing there, I don't know what it was. But I knew that when you were studying for it before class, that it was something off the answer key from WebAssign. And I told you who makes the answer key. We had a good laugh about that in our little teacher's lounge at the coffee thing that we had on Monday, because we know who writes those things. It's the graduate students who couldn't cut it in the classroom. You have to pay them somehow. You have to give them a stipend. So have them go make the answer key. It looked like foreign math to me. Sometimes people from overseas come and they just do things in a different way. It didn't look, and it didn't transfer. Whatever they did there for WebAssign, it didn't transfer. And it looked like they left out steps. Like they were showing you something and they left out a whole bunch of steps. So they had something in their mind, they didn't write it down at the end, and it didn't transfer over to this problem. So that's the issue. Like if you don't know why they're doing it, I could look at their answer for you and tell you. I think I know what they're doing. I think they were dividing by the highest power. One way to divide by the highest power is to factor it out and cancel. But they still had one more step to divide by the highest power twice. So it actually was longer. Whoever did that, they already saw the answer. So they didn't bother writing it down. Remember, they just wanted a paycheck. They just want their stipend. So they're not going to do a bang-up job on those solutions. And they were already historically someone who didn't do well in the classroom. So they're not somebody who wants to get you from point A to point B. So you got to keep that in mind and know that. That's okay. I still think you can learn something from it. You just have to use it wisely. The other thing I think I want to mention is how to study. So a lot of you are filling in gaps that you have from previous classes, like maybe you don't remember your formula, so you're going back and trying to learn a lot of stuff. That takes time. If you want to study for quizzes and fill those gaps at the same time, the best way to do that is to create your own quiz. So this is what I would do. I tell you exactly what's going to be on there, and I tell you a WebAssign problem like this, something like this, and I line it up for you. I would compile them. Go to WebAssign, screenshot your problem, and not just that problem, but maybe make a few versions by hitting the practice it button and getting another version. You have the answers already now from the past WebAssigns, so you even have the key and where you're supposed to get at. So let me see if I can get to it. Ugh. And you don't have to type it again, just screenshot it, copy and paste that picture into a Word document, line it all up, and then take the test. Take your test and see how you do. Like I don't want to bring it up. It takes too long to bring it up, but you could do that.
And you could put them all together. So one of the things we had an issue with in this class was people didn't have enough time to finish the quiz because they're thinking about things. And some of you told me after the fact that, look, when I did it on WebAssign and I was doing it at home, it was fine. And now I got in here and I was starting to, like, you have to give yourself a little bit more time in the class. But if you're doing that outside of class and piling up the questions and you take 20 minutes on one problem, then you know, I don't have 20 minutes on this problem, so I have to cut back the time. So you're not just studying the material and the content, but you're studying how to place stuff on a test. And when you do it that way, it actually takes less time to study than randomly choosing problems and doing them. You're studying in a very organized way, and you come in here, you're gonna knock it dead. This is what I've done. I was a master at taking, I'm an Asian kid. I was a master at taking tests. I'm sorry for the stereotype, but it's true. My parents taught me how to systematically go and take tests. And so one of the things I did made practice tests. And I always got an A. Always. Because not only was I learning the material as I was doing, I was getting in my professor's head. Not all professors tell you all the information. So I was getting into their head and figuring out what they're going to put on there. And by the time I came to the class and took the test, there was absolutely no test anxiety. I didn't have it. I was very confident because half the things they were asking I already had made up myself and done it several times. So that's how you prepare for a test setting while still putting together the material at the same time. It just shortens your time and you just really knock it dead. Every time I've told a student to do this, they've gotten an A. There's just no way around it. You're just closing any possibility that you won't get an A. You can do this in any class, by the way. I did it in virology. I came as a math major without molecular biology and took virology, which is a 400 level class, got an A. Took me a while because I had to learn molecular too. But you just can't not get an A doing it. You just write down, he asked prose questions. So I wrote down prose questions just like he did, messed up a little bit on the first test, and after that I got his game and I figured it out. So you can do it anywhere. Are there any questions about that? That's just my point of view. I think that's how you can study and really knock this thing out. Left side of the room, any questions?